Merry New Year. The B
Happy
team, we're
New Year.
back.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to our supporters, our friends, family, and especially to these guys for making this the best podcast in the Valley and in Pennsylvania and going to be in the country soon.
Yep.
Hope everyone had a great New Year. It's been fun, 2023. In the past, we're looking forward, 2024. We're here. We got new mics.
Yep.
New podcast. Look at these.
Look at these
Epic.
things. You wanted to
Epic.
touch it so bad just now.
I just can't. It's just, it's just perfect. I have to leave it be. But this is exciting, man. We're in 2024 now.
Yep.
Fantasy playoffs are over. The chips are over. I won one of them.
Mike one. Clap it up.
Doc, thanks for coming out. Boys, we're keeping it back in the Great North Division. 2-time championship winner.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you. But we got a lot to talk about. We took off last week because of Christmas.
Yep.
And we had a lot of football games upcoming. We had Bama, Michigan, Texas, Washington, 2 NFL week slates. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. So I know you are ecstatic. Why don't we get into that game right off the bat? What do you got?
I mean, Merry fucking New Year. This is fantastic. This is the perfect. It was not the game I thought they were going to lose, but Cardinals are a tough team. They're a tough team. I tried to warn everyone. I tried to tell all my Eagles friends, like, listen, don't go into this thing thinking it's going to be a cakewalk. That's what we did. And I mean, we had to go away, so it was a little tougher on us because you get that jet lag a little bit flying from Dallas to Arizona, same time zone probably. But Philly, I mean, you were at home at the Link. It was chilly. Everything was in your favor. And then, Nick Sirianni did the Nick Sirianni. I don't want to get into that game. I know we're going to touch on it. So let's focus on the Cowboys here. Cowboys were very good, I thought, on both sides of the ball. I thought it was another week where our run defense took a small step forward, but not a big enough one where it's going to matter had we had played the 49ers. But I thought our defense, Donovan Wilson was so good this game. He was so good. Now, offensively, sticking to the run game, our run game sucks. We don't have one.
Big switch up.
We don't have a run game. We don't.
Kind of sad because I think a lot of 90% of fantasy football players and just NFL fans figured that Tony Pollard would take that step, especially after last year being that like RB2, Zeke being the RB1.
Yeah,
it was clear that Tony Pollard looked like he was taking his job, which he did, but it hasn't really panned out again. But they took a little switch up. I mean, they're a passing offense team now, or a pass first team. CD, just an insane game. One of the best receivers in the league, of course.
Yep.
Dak played well. I think it was a pretty close game, like back and forth, but I think the defense gets more of the props than the offense. The offense did what they had to do, but the defense also did what they had to do. They put Jared Goff in a lot of hell. The run game, they stopped the run game. Again, slight step forward. Of course, the Lions are going to get yardage. Like they got one of the better receivers in the league, Amon-Ra. They got Gibbs in the backfield. Sam Laporte, the best tight end in the league. So they're gonna score theirs. They're gonna get theirs. But
it's about holding them to field goals. Can you hold those good teams offensively to field goals? And I feel like we were able to do that. Or we made them punt a good amount of times as well. But I just want to say one thing here because I didn't say it before. We owe Ezekiel Elliott an apology. I think there's a lot of people that said he was done without actually looking at what he was doing for Tony. And Tony Pollard is not Zeke. I love him, but he's not Zeke. You need a power runner in there, and he's just not big enough. To back you up on CeeDee Lamb, I mean, he caught Tyreek Hill's numbers. I feel like that's being very overlooked right now. He caught Hill's numbers.
Just an insane game. So what is he at right now for reception yards? Is he around 1,700?
He's, I think 16 because
16
and a half, something like that. Because I think Hill went over 17 after that game.
I will say as well, I know that we talked about when the trade deadline was upon us that the Cowboys didn't make those moves. We were like, the Cowboys need to make that one move that get that receiver that can help out CD. And Jerry Jones, of course, was a little greedy, wanted to save, got Brandon Cooks. That's been a great
Which has
addition.
worked out.
It's been a great addition for them, and he was kind of
early on.
He was disappeared.
Yep.
He disappeared for the first couple weeks, and then probably the second half of the season, he's just been another go-to target for Dak Prescott, and that's taken off a huge amount of weight off of Dak's shoulders and, of course, CeeDee Lamb's shoulders.
Yes.
People don't talk about this enough. The Cowboys are kind of like a tight end factory in a way. I mean, between Dalton Schultz last year.
We have the law firm. With Dalton Schultz, Ferguson, Hendershot, and Shoemaker. If you get injured, please call us at 1-800-LAW-FIRM.
There you go. But we know that Jake Ferguson is the guy right now. That's the tight end one. I mean, we saw it last year. Dalton Schultz was a tight end one there, and he was putting up points.
Yep.
Jake Ferguson is the same way. I mean,
he's better.
I think they're pretty much alike.
He's better because he has that dog. He tries to
got
fight
that
everyone.
dog in him.
He tries to fight everyone.
I think he's a better yards after catch tight end. I feel like Dalton Schultz was more of a safety blanket, and you couldn't make those catches. But Jake Ferguson, he makes those yards after catch. He's an aggressive runner. Yeah. Hurdles.
He tries to run everyone over like he's Derrick Henry.
I mean, as he should.
I love it. I love it. But yeah, let's get into the last part of this. So this is where we'll get into the Eagles game, because Dallas now has, courtesy of the Eagles, a great chance to win the NFC East with a win in Washington this Sunday. Only 2 teams have ever won all 16 home games, and one of them's New England Patriots. They did it 4 times. And the other is the Dallas Cowboys. So people don't realize how massive this really is for the Cowboys.
This is a road game.
If they I know that.
Okay,
but if they win this and they win the NFC East, they'll be the 2 seed. That means you get a home game for at least 2 games in a row before you have to go and play San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
That, people don't understand how bad we are on the road. That is huge for us. Huge. So, yeah, let's get into the Eagles game. They are certified ass.
Certified very concerned.
Ass.
I said that I was not concerned. The last 5 games that they've had, they've 1-4.
Mm-hmm.
This, again, I mean, I feel like a broken record here. This just goes to show how much pull the coordinators had. Shane Steichen, Gannon. I mean,
look who they lost to.
When you lose guys like that, we've seen this throughout the years, though. Like, when all of these coordinators are taking head coaching jobs. I mean, look at Dable and the Bills. You know what I mean? Like, the Giants had that one year they were really good. Josh Allen and the Bills took a step back. I think the Bills have finally found their rhythm, and they're an important game too. We'll touch on that as well. But, I'm concerned. I mean, the defense, again, this is more on the defense than it is the offense. They're both – hold on. Let me finish. They're both in a bad situation right now, but – you're giving up so many points. Let's not forget that the score was 35-31. The offense did put up points. The defense are letting up way too many points. Their injuries, their D-line is young, promising. It's young, but it's not there yet. Secondary, you're going to see Howie making a lot of moves for the secondary. It's obvious, dude. Darius Slay, they're all getting older. They're a very old team, and they still got it, but it goes hand in hand. I mean, listen, A.J. Brown, I've said this before, he's tough. He's tough to deal with, man. And I think we're seeing it. We're seeing him getting a little agitated with Jalen Hurts in the offense.
And you see me over here laughing because I'm just loving this, because for a number of weeks early in the year, all you heard was Eagles are 10-1, go Birds, go Birds. I love nothing but the Birds. And Eagles fans talked about how they were just running through this whole gauntlet of games. Well, then you get to the easy part of your schedule, and all of a sudden, every Eagles fan has decided that this team is the worst team in the league. They can't play football. They're all saying they're not going to watch the playoff games as if come on. They're going to be at the link, tailgating, pissing all over each other come noon on that Sunday whenever they get to play against the Buccaneers. And it's just crazy to me that they're paying a guy $225 million, and the only thing he can do positively right now is a tush push where he needs help from everyone that's running up behind them, touching his butt. It makes no sense to me what this offense is doing. You have 2 1,000-yard receivers back-to-back, by the way. Shout out to them. Very cool accomplishment. Not many are able to say that they did that with a teammate back-to-back years. And they don't even go to them on their, what was it, 2nd and 15? The OC said that they were trying to catch them off guard by running Jalen Hurts to the right. What is the point of that?
He deserves a lot of blame. And I know we talked about this too. Like, when does Sirianni like step in and is like, hey, listen, like, we're not calling this play. We're calling this play. This is way too conservative. Again, I feel like they're stepping away from their identity, which is running the football, killing time of possession, and killing the clock. They're stepping away from, they're trying to change it up. They need to go back to the fundamentals, the basics, and see what works. I feel like they're trying way too hard to try and get away from it. Mm-hmm. Get these guys active. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, which they should be active, but you got to win games. If it's ugly, you're going to win them ugly. A dub's a dub. Yep. They got to get back to it. I think it's the most important part. And once the season is officially over and the playoffs come, personally, I think we're going to see them get back to their old form. Are they going to win out? Are they going to lose in the first round? I don't think so. They're playing. Hold on. They're playing the division winner of the NFC South. None of those teams should be beating the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm sorry. There's no way.
You could argue that Baker Mayfield is playing better football than a lot of quarterbacks in the league.
Absolutely.
Right now.
No, absolutely.
And if you put him, if he continues that for another 2 weeks, and you put him against this defense that's bleeding points to bad teams, they're in trouble. Because if they don't figure out the offense, and it's a bit too late to figure out the offense. This isn't a like week 8 game where you're like, oh, we still have time to figure it out. Like, Chiefs are in the same situation. I know they just won their division, but you could argue that them and the Eagles, they went to the Super Bowl last year, were favorites to come in and go again this year. It's too late for them to figure out, oh, what do we want to do on offense? What do we want to do on defense? It's a bit too late for that.
I'm going to say this, and I know all of us here are big Jalen Hurts fans. Like, we know that he's a good
massive
quarterback.
Jalen Hurts fan right here.
But
they're going to hate that.
Yeah, I know they are. I need to see a little bit more leadership. I feel like when I watch Jalen Hurts, he's just very, let me just zone in, not say anything. Let's just run our plays. I feel like no one's really leading that team. I mean, Jason Kelce can only do so much and block the freaking nose tackle, defensive tackle on left or right side. We need to see Jalen Hurts step up as a quarterback because I haven't seen that. If you're watching the game, he's just resting bitch face the whole time. Where's the leadership? We need him to step up. We need him to step up, and we need the offensive coordinator, who probably will be gone after the season's over. We need him to get his shit together. This is just for the sake of Birds fans. And no, don't move on to baseball or the Sixers. Enough of that bullshit, dude. See what the fuck I'm wearing. Relax, okay? You're in the playoffs. Gassy, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you're going to the playoffs. You believe. If there's one thing I know about Phillies fans is that they always believe, they will always freaking root for their team. Win or loss doesn't matter, all right? Have their back. They're the Philadelphia Eagles. They were just in the Super Bowl last year. That's all I got to say.
They're certified ass.
There you go. Certified ass for Mueller. That's why everyone hates you.
Yep.
And that's why this podcast thrives.
Yeah. I just thought about this, too. I'm wearing a Sixers hoodie and a Cowboys hat. Like, I'm going to
be even worse.
I'm going to get so much hate. Going to get so much hate. Who was it? D'Angelo that said it?
Jakey D.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, buddy.
He said this pod is the greatest pod on earth or something, and then
Mueller's
he followed
stupid.
it up with, but Mueller's an idiot. And I'm fine with it, but like, this is not going to help my cause. Actually, it might help my cause because they all hate the Birds right now. Jalen Hurts fan.
Now, okay, wait. Let me ask you real quick. So I know with the NFC East is stupid stat, but no team has won it consecutively twice. Did they win it twice? No. So
no one has. So it'll continue.
Cowboys are locked then.
Yeah. No, continue.
Cowboys are locked.
Yeah.
They're gonna win the game.
Yeah. Actually, dude, I gotta download the Barstool Sports. Wait. So how would that work if I put a? Was it in that one?
Do you not have? You don't have an account with Barstool?
I know. I don't know what book I put in. I gotta go find this. I put a future in early on the Cowboys to win the division.
I was probably like plus like 300, maybe.
Yeah, probably a little something.
Maybe a little bit more.
We'll get some gifts for people for next Christmas.
We gave out a lot of gifts this year.
We gave
by
out
the way.
a lot of gifts. But,
very exciting. But
talking about giving out gifts. Let's talk about this Dolphins defense.
Yeah, big ifs. Now, let me ask you, is this more so on the Dolphins or is it more so on the Ravens?
I think the Ravens defense might be the best defense in the league.
I think the Ravens are just that legit.
I think it's back. Their defense is back.
They've been back, dude. And it's wild because the 3 teams that they've played, the Niners, the Dolphins, and was it the Cowboys? No, it was another good team. Absolutely murdered them. Like, you got to chill, man. Like, you're beating a dead horse here. The Finns, I think, will be fine. I mean, again, like...
I have the stat.
Go ahead. Let me hear it.
So they're on a 6-game win streak. Last loss came against the Browns, 33-31. They beat the Bengals, Chargers, and then they beat the Rams, 37-31. Jags, 23-7. That was a shit kicking. 49ers, 33-10. Shit kicking. And Dolphins, they just basically embarrassed, 56-19.
This is just... Lamar.
Now they have the Steelers this week.
This is Lamar Jackson and the defense. That's all it is. And they already, I'm sure that I think they clinched the number 1 seed. I think that Baltimore is set in stone.
Yep.
Rest of starters, the Steelers are probably going to be playing for a worse draft pick, of course, which they always do. Same exact thing every single year. I told the boys, Tommy DePaul and Darius, this. Every year, Tomlin will go over 500 and then will just barely make the playoffs and lose in the first round or will not make the playoffs at all. He's just known for this.
Yep.
So Mason Rudolph, you might have a good game against the Ravens. They're going to be sitting a lot of people. If you get the win, congratulations. You get a worse draft pick. And you're helping out Mike Tomlin. But
it's 17 years, I think, above 500.
The only team I really see stopping the Ravens right now are the Chiefs. And it's not even because of the Chiefs, but I think it's because of the Ravens themselves, if that makes sense.
Okay, fair.
I think, granted, the Chiefs still have their issues, but I still can't count them out, man. Like, unless I see them not make it to the AFC Championship, which they've done for the last, 5 years straight, that's when I take them off the pedestal.
And
so
this will be the first year that they'll have to go on the road.
Yes.
Assuming everything works out. I mean, they still have a chance, outside chance of getting the 2 seed, I believe, if the Dolphins lose to the Bills.
The Bills would get the 2 seed if they lose to the Finns.
Because they beat Kansas City.
Yes.
All right, so Kansas City's locked in at 3.
Yeah, so they're
going on the road no matter what.
Yep. But you never know with the playoffs, man. You can't count them out.
No.
But you know why? Because they have experience. They've been there multiple times. Isaiah Pacheco,
Did you see what Jordan Lewis tweeted out?
No.
He tweeted out, he goes, what was it? Pacheco runs like he's trying to bite people.
He runs like he bites people.
He bites people.
Who tweeted that?
Jordan Lewis from
Jordan
Cowboys.
Lewis. That's so funny.
Did you see the run that he had? When you put his...
It's actually hilarious to watch though. Like, I love it. That's just 110% effort. Like, when he's in open space and then just puts his helmet down and just goes. Yeah, I love it, dude. I love it. I don't know why.
Every time he does it, it's like when you see those shitty cars on the road and they sound really loud when they hit the gas, but they're still going 10 miles an hour.
And they're like a 2004 Honda Civic.
Yeah. That's what it reminds me of, because he doesn't actually speed up or anything. He just moves his head a lot more when he runs.
I've never seen a running back run like he does, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
And the fact that he went to Rutgers and Nietzsche's there as well.
Fair.
So the only thing, I didn't like him on the Jets because he was doing push-ups and then called us out, blah, blah, blah. All good. But
that was
he's a damn good running back. Mahomes, I still don't respect you, but I can respect that you guys are still good. So.
Yeah. Well, since we touched on it, you want to get into the playoff picture?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so those were the 3 games that we needed to talk about. There wasn't much more.
Mm-hmm.
Playoff picture, the Bills, sticky situation here. You want me to read through it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So a Bills win at the Dolphins equals the 2 seed and will not play Miami in round 1. Can't. So Bills lose to the Dolphins. Now here's where it gets tricky. If they lose to the Dolphins, they would need the Jaguars or the Steelers to lose to get into the playoffs. So they're out if those 2 win.
Okay, gotcha. So if one of those 2 teams win, they're in the playoffs.
I think.
Okay.
Now, if the Bills lose and the Jags win and Pittsburgh wins, Bills miss the playoffs completely. Pittsburgh plays
the Ravens. they could win it. They're going to be resting starters. Why would they play their starters?
Pittsburgh is currently favored 3.5.
Yeah, that I don't see them losing that game.
Yeah. And Jacksonville's playing to win the division.
Now, that game, they're playing the Titans.
Yeah.
Last year, I think it was 2 years
chaos.
ago. Yes.
Chaos.
The AFC South and the last game of the year is always chaotic for the Jaguars or the Colts, especially when it's like a win and in situation, which the Colts and Texans have, by the way. I don't know if you knew this.
Yep.
Whoever wins that game is in.
Yep.
And that's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a fun one to watch. Who would have ever thought an AFC South game would be fun to watch? So, who am I rooting for there in the Colts-Texans game? I don't know. Adam and Luke, Colts fans, CJ Stroud, my boy.
So the Steelers, I'm just looking at this right now. So the Steelers have no shot of getting it.
They have like a 35% chance to get in. They're going to need a lot of shit to happen.
Hear me out. If the Jags win, if the Bills win, and the Steelers win, they'll be 10-7. If the Colts and Texans are both 10-7, they're out. They're out. No, yeah, they're out. No, that was a dumb question. Don't worry about it. Okay. Forget it. So let's rewind this whole thing. All right, we're back to where we were.
Gotcha.
That's going to be the most exciting game of the season.
Absolutely. So the AFC it's really coming down to the wire. Usually it's the NFC, I feel like, but AFC is coming down to the wire. Now, do you want to talk about the NFC playoff picture at all? And I know we kind of touched on it, but
yeah, the NFC playoff picture is almost basically cleaned up. Tampa Bay is playing against the Panthers this week, and Bryce Young went out with an injury last week, so I'm not sure if he will play.
It's a year to forget for him.
Yeah, honestly, he should just pack it in. He left last game early. He should just leave the season early.
Yeah, agreed.
So Tampa Bay probably will win that division and be the 4 seed and play the Eagles, hopefully. And then the Rams are in at 9-7. I think that they will handle business. Yeah, shoot.
Okay, I will say real quick, they should have lost that game to the Giants.
Yeah.
But
what a bad kick.
I mean, what a bad play by Tyrod.
Well, that too.
That was terrible.
But dude,
terrible.
That was horrible.
Yeah, both of them were. They're the Giants.
Bad.
But dude, you had the opportunity to give it to just Saquon and you threw it behind him.
Yeah.
But you know what? Tyrod might be goated for that because that's a guy who wants a tank for the team. Not Greg Williams, not Adam Gase, not Darnold and Frank Gore. He wants a tank for the Giants for their success in the future. That's the real MVP.
Yes.
If I ever seen one.
All right, well, let's get into this here. So the 3 teams in question are the Packers, Seattle, and the Saints. Packers play the Bears at home. Seattle goes on the road to the Cardinals, coming off a big win against the Eagles. And the Saints play the Falcons at home. Do any of them actually lose?
Saints, I could see losing.
Okay, well, they're at the bottom right now. They can't get. If all 3 win, they're out.
Mm-hmm.
If all 3 win, I think Seattle's out too.
I think Seattle could maybe cop the L. I mean, Kyler Murray, dude, we got to think about this too. He's kind of playing for a contract right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he might not stay in Arizona. He might go elsewhere. The game he just had was fantastic, and it obviously is looking good for teams that could look into possibly getting him.
He dominated the time of possession that game.
Dominated. Dude, Michael Carter, dominated. James Conner, dominated. Michael Wilson, dominated.
Is James Conner first team All-Pro this year? He should be considered for it. He should be considered.
That is a leader of men. Is a great story, and that is a guy who you just want on your team, especially in the running back room. Michael, by the way, I know going back to the Jets, Michael Carter looks great in a Cardinals uniform. He fits in well with that team.
Like Marquise Brown did not look great. He looks great.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing with the Cardinals. Are they in a shitty situation right now? Yes. Do they have a lot to figure out? Yes. But you have a quarterback. You have Michael Wilson upcoming. You have Marquise Brown.
Mm-hmm.
They could just figure out the trenches. I mean, they got Paris Johnson, and maybe their defense. They could compete.
Yeah,
I can't see why they couldn't.
They should have competed. I think if Kyler plays the whole season, they compete. They would be up in they'd be in the playoff picture for sure. Because you look, they got 4 wins. They could pick up a 5th here. You're telling me that they don't find 2 or 3 more in the season? There's no way. And especially early on when like the Rams were kind of shocking.
They've just been on a roll. I love Puka Nacua. He's overtaken. He is the new Cooper Kupp.
He is. Well, Cooper Kupp can't stay healthy for his life.
Yeah, it's his time.
Really a shame.
You know what, Cooper? Shout out to you. You helped me win my fantasy league, but you were fun to watch. But it's Puka time, man. It is Puka. You're not trading Puka in Dynasty, right? You need an arm and a leg for him?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, figured.
Yeah, so all in all, I think Green Bay, as long as they don't pull a fast one here, Justin Fields looked great this weekend, and they were chanting to keep him, which I love. I love for the kid.
Oh, I can't wait to talk to Lucas.
I don't know how they can get rid of him now when all the fans want him. Could you imagine that team gets Marvin Harrison and you have 2 weapons for him and a running back? Well, running back by committee. One of them's got to step up. And then you just figure out how to not give up 50 points. Like, that team would be fantastic.
I love this for the Bears because Bears fans are in shambles. Because remember when Lucas said, we were talking, I'm like, yo, how is Bears Twitter? He cut me off. Civil war.
Yeah.
It's civil
posted that.
war. Yeah, we did post it. And I love it because they know they have the number 1 pick overall locked up. They're just playing a play right now. And
like, now they should just go try and win.
I feel like this is another like couple games where they know there are some fans out there that know that Justin Fields isn't the answer, but then they're getting sucked in again because Justin Fields is playing well, and they're like, maybe this is him, dude. Yeah, all familiar. It sounds very familiar.
Hey. Well, I wasn't even going to go there.
Yeah, we're all
like
too familiar.
Sounds like Zach Wilson, but no. Imagine Marvin Harrison on one side, you got DJ Moore on the other, and Justin Fields in the middle. The ability to scramble, the ability to throw. All of a sudden, that team's looking like the Baltimore Ravens, who just had Zay Flowers, who would be their Marvin Harrison, get his first 100-yard game, and that Marvin Harrison changes that offense so much. Just having 2 options. It literally would change an entire franchise.
Yeah, I agree with you, but this is the issue, I think. Now, Eberflus, I think, is going back to the Bears.
Yeah,
Ryan Poles,
back.
Yeah, so Ryan, which I don't know how I feel about that. Ryan Poles will be back as well. Is he really going to spend a number 1 overall pick on Marvin Harrison Jr.? But no, listen.
I think so.
He could.
If Justin Fields comes out here and knocks Green Bay out of the playoffs, there's no way you don't go with him next year.
They have a lot to think about because you have the number 1 pick. You have Caleb Williamson right there. You have Drake May. You have Jaden Daniels. You have Michael. You have Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, they could get a haul, or I think regardless they should keep that pick.
But Caleb Williams. All right, if you get Caleb Williams, sorry.
No, go ahead.
One last thought from me on this. If you get Caleb Williams, it doesn't change anything because you just watch Caleb Williams try and play a college season with no defense. And, you could say he's got weapons because they're one of the best teams in the country, but could you name 1 wide receiver on that team right now?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I can't.
Exactly. So, what does it actually change?
I think avoiding to pay Justin Fields the money that he wants. I think starting on a fresh slate with again, we got to remember that they traded up for him. I think it was either pick 10 or pick 20. I forget which one it was. And a lot of guys were passing on Justin Fields. Has it been nice in Chicago for him? No, I don't think it has. It's been a struggle. And this is civil war. It's civil war for a reason. Personally, I still think they're going to take a quarterback.
Did you want to say your thought?
Yeah.
Do you want to be at the new mic?
No, I'll say it from over here. It'll pick it up. I think if they don't take Caleb Williams, they're going to trade out.
It's not a bad idea.
I don't think Marvin Harrison adds more to your team than 3 or 4 firsts is going to.
That's fair.
And they're going to have the 8th pick. They have those 2 firsts in the top 10. They might take another quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They might take a quarterback at number 8. There's going to be one there.
Penix.
And then you'll still probably have another first from whatever team trades for Caleb Williams, and you'll have their first for the next 3 or 4 years. So I think if they don't take Caleb Williams,
trade back,
they're gonna trade that pick.
Yeah.
And they're going to get a haul because again, this is one of the most friendly quarterback drafts that we've seen in a while. Probably since maybe the Darnold, Baker, Josh Rosen, Lamar, Josh Allen draft, where there was a bunch.
People are judging quarterbacks now by how similar they look to Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Forget about everything else. Just how much does he look like Patrick Mahomes?
Literally.
Caleb Williams' value is through the roof just because of that, even though he does have some holes in his game.
I think this is what's funny about having the number one like overall pick. It's like you have a lot of fans like, listen, you can get a haul for this. You can get so many players, picks, value. You can build up your line, your defense, and then you have the fans that are just like, dude, you got the number one overall pick. Don't fuck it up. You know who to take. Like, this is something that Ryan Poles and the whole front office is going to have to discuss with. Like, how much do we really want Justin Fields? How much do we really see him making an impact on us in the future? Because again, his record, and I like Justin Fields, his record with the Bears is not good. No. It is not good. And there's obviously it's not just on him, but even Lucas has said it. He holds the ball for a little bit too long. He doesn't really go through his reads and progressions like he should. There are a lot of things that Justin Fields has to fix, and it's going to take him time. But once they are fixed, he could be a really good quarterback. Mm-hmm. Do they want to reset and get someone who will be on a rookie deal and you can actually develop with the guys that you want to develop for him? Dude. Well, I love it. I love it. Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to tell you, we're going to move on to these mortals now after that.
So do we stop?
No, we're moving on to mortals right now.
Okay, because remember, mortals is
we're stopping you from going into a rabbit hole of draft orders and stuff.
No. Can I actually ask something, though? Like, so where are we at now? Like 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to stop recording.
No, you keep going.
We're going to keep going. Okay, gotcha. Sorry, guys. We're new year, new us. By the way,
Mike's always asking questions like that in the middle of the show.
But it's good. It's good for us. It's good for us.
Yeah, but I just told you what's going on.
Well, no, because you were like, we don't want Mike to get in the rabbit hole of the draft. Because I said, I love it. And you knew right there. He's like, shit, he's going in the rabbit hole again.
Yes, we're going on the mortals. All right, so mortals. I'm 11-7. Mike's 8-9-1. This is a massive week for Mike because he can move the 500. Gas, unfortunately, you have no shot again to 500 in regular season. 7-10-1. Rams sold on you. They did.
It was a good pick. I took the Rams too.
All right, so Mike, since you won last week, you get first pick.
Okay, deal. So massive. Cannot F around and find out. I must get a win. Just want to give myself a pat on the back because I made a massive comeback. Those Thursday games, they're in my back pocket. I'll never forget. We'll start with them next year. I'm wearing this because the Jets were going to be my mortal. They will not, because I'm not going to F around, find out, and I will never bet for the Jets on a mortal. But they're going to win a pointless game like they always do, because they can't tank right, and they should be – the money line should be so locked, but I just can't do it. So instead – Muller, you're going to hate me for this, actually, but with the Cowboys in a win-now position, they did blow out the Commanders last time. The Commanders always find a way to just, like, become they come alive in the second half. I think the spread's like 13.5.
13.5.
13.5. Give me the Commanders. It's a lot of points.
I respect that.
Especially after a blowout, that first game. We're going to take the Commanders. We're going to bank on the points to save us, and we're going to finish 500 in the year.
Fair. No, I respect that because weird stuff happens at that stadium.
Absolutely.
Really weird stuff.
Yep.
So my pick, I am not even going to mess around and think and do math and all that. I know what's going to happen in this game. And if it doesn't happen, well, shit, I don't know what to tell you. I'm taking the Saints -3 at home in a must-win scenario at home. That place is going to be loud against a Falcons team that really has no direction at the moment. So I'm going Saints -3.
Fair.
So for my mortal, I got to go Tennessee +5.5.
Love it.
That's what the line is?
At home against Jacksonville, they're a +5.5. I think they keep it close. I think they're going to win. So I'm taking them with the spread.
I love it.
We used to be really jagging off, man. The Jags were so fun.
Well, now we only jag off when they go to the UK.
Yes, that's true. Good pick, because I took the Titans in my pool too, but you know how badly I wanted to take the Jets? I'm like, because this is a game where the Patriots are, this is all I'm going to say, they're right now locked in the number 3 pick in the draft, and the Jets are around number 8, I think. This is a game where Bill's like, let me just give it one last, like, screw you to the Jets and just get absolutely blown out. Like, the Jets might win by more than 2 touchdowns.
New England's bad enough to do it.
Yes.
They're bad enough to pull
Yes.
off the loss to the Jets.
Yes.
We're gonna win the game, bro. We're gonna win the game.
Also, I don't want you to take that because it is Bill's last game, and Roger and Bill for a long time really didn't see eye to eye. But there's no way that Roger doesn't let Bill win his last game in New England.
Okay, good. I'm glad I didn't take it then.
Yeah, no,
Good point.
I support that.
I think the Commanders.
Yeah.
The Commanders are gonna save me. They're gonna be the team. Sam Howell's or Jacoby Brissett get back in there. The Cowboys, after a very close win, could have been an L. We didn't really get into that, by the way.
Well,
but
the tripping call was terrible. I don't have anything to say. Listen, before we go, here's what I'll say because we didn't get into it. The calls that everyone was focused on in the end zone, I don't know why we're all focused on that because those never would have happened if the tripping call was called correctly because Tony Pollard actually ran for more than 2 yards and like that would have run the game out. They wouldn't have had a minute and a half. It wouldn't have been 2nd and 25. It would have been 2nd and 3. We would have only had to get 3 yards. We would have run the ball 2 more times. The game would have been over. Like, I don't understand where everyone's like, oh, like the refs screwed the Lions. How did the Lions get screwed when they got a chance to win the game? The refs gave them a chance to win the game, and then they went in illegal formation. So even if he did check in, the Cowboys covered everyone with the information they were given, and then he wasn't even in the correct formation. It was an illegal formation. So either way, it's a flag.
Regardless,
so I don't know. And then Dan Campbell is a moron for still kicking. He didn't kick a field goal. Kick the field goals. You had 3 chances earlier in the game, and you didn't kick field goals. Like, Brendan, I don't know how you watch this team, bro. Dan Campbell went for it on 4th down 3 times and didn't kick a field goal, and Micah Parsons ate that up. How do you not kick the field goal?
He went Brandon Staley that game. Like, that was like a complete, like, Dan Campbell, like, slowly morphing into Brandon Staley.
Yeah.
When you are down 1 point, you have the opportunity to go into overtime. The first time, okay, fine. You got balls. We know that. The second time, it's like, all right, man, like, come on, like, just send it to overtime. The third time, dude, regardless, even if that guy made the catch, he's not getting in the end zone. You need to kick the fucking PAT.
Yeah.
Especially when the position that they were at. They win the game. That 1 seed is not locked up for the Niners. Yeah. That's just, I mean, and which is probably why he did it, but you don't trust your team going into overtime?
I wouldn't.
Unbelievable.
But I think that's a good place to leave off. We'll be back. So just a little update. We are doing 3 shows a week now. We'll have one on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. So stay woke, stay ready. Go Cowboys.